Hi everyone, welcome back to Crochet Vox. Tracy here, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you the no turning chain method and a seamless granny square in one. So I've been asked to do this by a few of my subscribers because I recently put up a video about how you can get on with your work without any turning chain, get much straighter edges, and I'll put a link up here if you want to watch that. But this one I'm going to show you how to make a granny square with which is seam free. This is the end where we have joined, so it's ever so easy, and if you're a beginner I'm sure you can still master this technique. So I'm just going to pause it for a second while I clear this away and get my bits and pieces together. Also, if you haven't already, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Okay, so this is just some yarn that I have ready. It's exactly the same as the other square. I'm using a 4mm, no, it's a 4.5 this one. Sorry, I did have a 4mm for the other one, but I'm going to try this hook. This is one that I'm trialing. So you just need to make a slip knot, and you can do that however you normally would, and chain 4. Because we're not doing a magic knot for this, it's just a ring. So now I'm going to slip stitch into the first one and create a small ring that we're going to now work into. So this is the center of our ring. It's very small at the moment, but as we work it will get a little bit bigger. So I'm just going to insert my hook straight into there, and I'm going to work over the turning chain as well at the same time, but don't worry if you can't do that yet, that's fine. I'm going to yarn over and pull up the loop. So there we are. I'm going to do a yarn over and pull through both loops, and now I'm going to reinsert my hook into this left hand post, just that post, so just one loop. I'm going to yarn over and pull through that loop, and now I'm going to yarn over and pull through both. So that is going to be our first UK treble or US single crochet. And now I'm going to do 2 normal UK trebles and US double crochets next to it. So that's just the usual normal stitch, and this is assuming obviously that you know how to do these stitches. If not, I have tutorials for these stitches, and so do others. So if you want to familiarize yourself with it first. So now we've got our first 3 stitches. We're going to chain 1, and we're going to do another 3, just like a normal kind of granny square. If I go too fast for you, if you're very new, then just pause it and catch up with me. Okay, now we're going to do another chain. So we're making segments of 3 separated by a chain. That's basically what we're doing. So I'm going to do another 3 because altogether we want 4 segments, but when we get to the last I'm not going to do a chain. So just in case you pause it and race ahead, we don't need the chain after the next one. So if you find it gets a little tight, just pull it across, and there you can see that hole has got a lot bigger than it was in the beginning. It's only that first initial stitches where it's a little tight. Okay, so that's my last one. And if we look, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 lots of 3. So now, because we didn't do didn't do chains, we make this stitch. We've now got our 2 loops at the top to go into. There's as if this was the chain, there'd be the first one, there'd be the second. But we haven't got a battle to get through a chain. We just go through the 2 loops, which I didn't do very successfully. I'm not sure I like in this hook. There we go. We go through the 2 loops and we pull up a loop as if we're going to make a slip stitch to join, but we're not. We're going to do a UK double crochet, which is a single in the US. So we're going to yarn over and pull through both of those, and that makes a little gap. You can't really see it too well yet, but once we start working into it you will. But it's the same size as the gaps between our segments. So again, we're going to do that chainless stacked, well, in the US it would be called a stacked single crochet, and in the UK it would be called a stacked double. So we're just going to go back into our hole that we've created, yarn over and pull up that loop, yarn over and pull through both of them. And now we're going to go into this left hand post again, just that one, yarn over and pull up the loop, and yarn over and pull through both of them. So that is now creating our first stitch. We're going to do our next two, and basically what we're doing now is half of a corner. We're going to leave that one there, and we're now going to work into this space between the next segments, and we're going to do a corner. So we're going to do 3 stitches, just the same as we have been for our segment. Please excuse this hook, I'm trying it out, not impressed with it that much. 1 chain, and then we're going to do another 3 in that same space, which will make a corner. Now, a lot of people ask me why I don't turn my work. I don't like the reverse of the crochet. I don't like this side. I don't like it visible. And a lot of people have problems with it twisting, kind of having this optical illusion of twisting. That doesn't happen with me. And I think that's because I don't chain too many. And plus, my stitches kind of pull at a side. So I'll show you what I mean. As I'm going in and I'm pulling up a loop, it is pulling over because there's no chain between. So that makes it straightened out, if you understand what I mean. So I'm doing my 3, my 1 chain, and my another 3, I meant to say my other, but it came out wrong. So another 3 in the same space. And as you can see, we're now making our square. So now we go straight into this one and do the corner. This is a little bit tight, it's cupping a little bit, but I wouldn't worry about that. It's just pull itself out. So I'm finishing this corner, and so then we will be right back to where we started, to our half a corner that we left just sitting there. Okay, so now we've got to complete that corner. So I'm going to do 3, but again, I'm not going to do a chain to separate the corner. Okay, so there it is. There's our first part of the stitch. There's our second part of the stitch. I'm just not going to yarn over. What am I doing? We're going to go in. Sometimes, if my work needs it, I will do that as a half treble in the UK or a half double. But this is fine with just a normal UK double or US single crochet. So I'm going to pull up my loop, and there we are. They're separating them, and I'm going to do my UK double, US single. So that has completed my little square. I'm going to do it all over again. I'm going to go back into that same space between our segments and pull up my loop. Yarn over and pull through both. Now I'm going to slip my hook into that post again on the left hand side. Yarn over, pull up the loop. Yarn over and pull through both of them. And so that's my stitch. And now I'm going to do my half a corner, just as I did in the previous round. But this time around, we have a side. Now we've made our square, we have a side there. And so I'm going to just do 3 in that side, a segment of 3. No chain between the segments, as I said before. And now we're back at the corner. So in this one, I'm going to complete a whole corner. So that is the 3 stitches. If I go too fast, it might be handy to watch it first, pause it and then catch up with me. Or you can always rewind that part. So now I've done my 3. I'm doing my 1 chain and my other 3 to complete the corner. And now we're back along another side again. So that's just 3 in the side. So you need to just remember you're doing 3 in the side parts and you're doing a whole corner. So that's 3, 1 chain and 3 in the corners. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this corner, 3 in that side, this corner, 3 in that side, and then I'll catch up with you when I get to here so we can complete that corner again. So I'm going to pause the video and I want you to just repeat what we've done here, and I'll see you when I get back to the start. Okay, here I am back at this part again. So I'm going to complete my corner by going in this one with my segment of 3. If you wanted to know what the yarn this is, it is Elise Batik Baby. Okay, so now I'm back here again. There's my first part of the stitch. There's my second. The beauty of doing it this way is you've got those lovely 2 loops to just pop into. There's no struggling to get in a tight chain. So you can yarn over, pull it up, yarn over and go through both, and you've completed. So that is how we have been doing, well, I'm now doing my granny squares. Seam free, no twisting, no turning my work, and no turning chain. Okay, so in the next round we would do half a corner, 2 along the side, 2 segments of 3, then a corner, 2 segments of 3, then the corner, and we would carry on like that for however long or however big we want our granny square. This was just a small one that I did. This is also the same yarn. You can see the green is coming back in. So this is the first one I did, and just did it to show you, but you just carry on. And so you, where we did 1 in our side, then we kind of did 2 in our side, and every round we increase by 1. So these are our sides. So next time it would be 4 along the side. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed that. I just want to show you another little technique that I've been asked. If I were to be doing a, if I was going to be doing a border, for instance, and I've got my stitch, that is all I would do. But sometimes we've actually got a corner to go into there. But say if I was going in the stitch, what I might do is 1 chain and cinch it right down, and it just finishes that stitch off and stops it from becoming like pulling over. So now I would go into that stitch, and I'm not going in the hole this time, I'm going into the stitch. Pull up my stitch and just start my border. And then when I get round, I would go into the 2 chain, so the actual 2 loops, not 2 chain, the 2 loops of the first stitch to do my slip stitch, or you can do the invisible join. And the same is true if I were doing a UK half treble, which is a double, half double in the US. So I would again do my 1 chain and cinch it right down, because I want to see where my stitch starts and finishes, and sometimes it's a little awkward. I've made that a bit tight. Oh, it's into there, isn't it? I don't know where I am now. I think I've confused myself. Okay, so I've finished my stitch. Maybe I made it too tight. Okay, so now I'm doing my chain and cinch it down, and I'm going into this stitch here. So I would do exactly the same thing. So when you're going round, because you've cinched that down, this is your first stitch with the 2 loops there, and that is what I would do all the way around if I were doing a half treble, half double border. But why do I do the chain and cinch it down? I do that because if you've not finished off the stitch completely that you're doing and you start off again, I find it kind of looks a little confusing when you get all the way around. But if you make that cinched down chain, it's not confused into a stitch because it's so small, and you can clearly see the 2 loops that you're going to go into when you get all the way around from your border. But that is exactly what I've always done that with my my UK double crochet, which is a single in the US, and I've always done it with the half treble, which is a half double in the US. But doing it this way with a UK treble, which is obviously a double crochet in the US. Why do we have to have different names? It's so confusing. But doing it this way is completely new to me, and I do consider it a complete and utter game changer. I will never chain again. I will never do a 2 chain start 3 chain start. Somebody asked me as well, with the US treble crochet, can you do the same thing? And I'm going to show you now that you can. Okay, so if this was a UK term, it would be a double treble. So obviously what you do, bear with me 1 second, I've got knock. Sorry about that, a postman came. So I've frogged it back to where we were because it's confusing to have all those half trebles. So here we are, we're back at our work. We would go in and we would pull up our loop exactly the same and as if we were just doing it before, and we would go into this side post and we would do, and that's, so we've completed what we were doing. So if it was a UK double treble or a treble crochet in the US, we've got that post again on the side there to go into and complete. So now we've got our nice tall stitch, and we would do our double trebles, as we call them, or treble in the US, exactly the same as always, by going round the hook twice, pull through 2, pull through 2, and pull through 2. But again, you've got your 2 loops there to go in when you get all the way around. It is a very big stitch. I probably did mine a little bit tight there. I'll do that again. There we are. You pull up your loop. It's quite handy to pull, if you're in a situation where you're in a corner, it is quite handy to pull up those loops. But it makes a nice big fatter stitch rather than the spindly kind of turning chains that we all have been doing. I prefer it. So there we are. We would now just keep going. And I never was one to do 3 chain when it came to a UK treble or US double crochet. I always felt, I'm sorry, I'm leaning on my own yarn, which is very annoying. But that is how you would do it for that stitch. So now I think we've covered all of them. All of the stitches, so that is cool. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you understood completely about the granny square. The rest of it was just for, you know, information purposes if you were doing a border or what other stitches I've been asked to show. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye for now.